defending 5A state champs out of Georgia, and that would be the Miller Grove Wolverines. We're bringing this to you on SUV TV. If you like what you see, if you're enjoying the broadcast, if you want to shout out on air, just tweet at us. Use the hashtag SUV TV. This is a star-studded game, and Brandon Clay is giddy over here to my left. He is with PeachStateBasketball.com, BrandonClayScouting.com. Go figure, he's the owner of BrandonClayScouting.com. And he's a recruiting analyst, has lots of experience with events like this. Tell us about this matchup here, Brandon. I know you're pumped.
This is the crown jewel, man. You know, when you looked at the list, and I know Marcus sent this to me. We were discussing the broadcast schedule this year, and there was no question that this was the marquee game. Obviously, it's going last. Somebody did a really good job with the placement. Miller Grove, as good as advertised, 6 in a row in the state of Georgia in 5A, one of the toughest classes. They've had young men come through, McDonald's All-Americans, Tony Parker, who now is at UCLA. They've had some great ones. Sharman White does an excellent job. We talked about him getting the opportunity to do Nike coaching clinics, coach with USA Basketball. He really has made his mark, not only in the state of Georgia, but nationally. And when you look at Callaway, you talk about Malik Newman, but it's bigger than that. They just picked up a transfer, Demencio Vaughn from Thurgood Marshall High School. Had the opportunity to watch him this summer with New York Lightning. He's visited Rutgers, been some other places in the Northeast, but now his eye on possibly coming to a school down here for college as well. Keep an eye on him, number 23, kind of a slashing guard. Newman will be in 14, the big boy in the middle. Damian Moore had the opportunity to watch him with the Jackson Tigers this summer. They are an absolutely loaded team. This is going to be a blast. Oh, and yeah, don't forget about Ricardo Day, number 5, when he's out there as well. So plenty of talent for both teams. I can't wait to really dive in and get this thing jumping, man.
Yeah, Ricardo Day averaging 10 points a game, but 7 assists and 3 boards. He can do a lot for Callaway. And it looks like Ricardo Day will be in there. Demencio Vaughn in there as well. We got a confusion as a couple of roster spots here. We're going to get that figured out. Brandon Clay's immediately up into the scores table to check that out. Newman kicks it over on the wing, hard to the rim. Attacking is Wesley Harris. He lost control. And here comes Miller Grove, the Wolverines. In it, they were quick to get out on the break, but now they're setting up a half-court set. Tariq Gilbert gives it up. 3-ball on the way, splash down from Lamont West. He is a big man, listed at 6'8". He's a senior, and he can stretch the floor.
Well, he's just a prime example of what Miller Grove does. They just replace pieces. You know, year in and year out, they always have guys who are more than willing to play their role. As you see him step in, draw the charge right there, Boykin does. And every year they have guys like that. It could be Devin Dorsett that just finished in Norfolk State last year. We called him the Energizer Bunny, man. He was just always all over the rim, dunking on people's heads. I'm sure Marcus has plenty of SUV footage of him sitting on top of people's heads, putting defenders in the rim, and they do that so well. Their pieces are interchangeable. A scorer or two, and then everybody else is a key rotation piece for them.
In the lane, boy, that was smooth. Gilbert could not get the roll. Newman pushing tempo, gives it ahead. Layup no good, put up and in, and I believe that's Ricardo Day. Isn't that what you checked at the scores table?
Yeah,
right?
Still waiting for clarification on that. They had some adjustments there as well, man.
I think that's Ricardo Day putting that in for 2. He wore number 5, or well, he was listed as number 5, but now I think he's wearing number 3. Here's Newman off the turnover, lobs it up. A great athletic catch, and a loose ball is going to be deflected and eventually picked out by Miller Grove, slipping and falling as point guard Kendall Williams. Baseline drive, a reverse, wild reverse attempt, no good, cleaned off by Wesley Harris. Wesley Harris listed at 6'8". He's a swing man. He can absolute play. He is a go-getter. Newman trapped, gives it up. Harris now makes a move, stop and pop, over 15 feet there. Can't get it to go. It's cleaned up and put in. I'll get who that is for Callaway. It's Damian Moore. Kasim Nicholson is wearing 3 for Callaway. That's the confusion there. Damian Moore with 2 on the inside, though. 3 ball on the way, no good. Batted around, loose ball, another block on the inside. That's Damian Moore going to work in there. He's got a bucket, a couple blocks, and he's in it.
I want to make sure to take a second here to shout out Robert Alfonso watching the game at home. We talked about using the hashtag and showing a little love here to the SUV TV crew. And he said, at home up in the Northeast, man. Guy that's near and dear to our heart from the Atlanta area, but living up north now. Still watching, still supporting.
We love it. Got people watching all over the country. Hashtag SUV TV. If you'd like a shout out on air, Altariq Gilbert, 3 off back iron, no good. Rebound, Miller Grove's going to be content to take some outside shots. Another 3 on the way, no good. Batted around, loose ball, cleared out aggressively by Callaway. That was Demencio Vaughn. In transition, Newman gets to the rim. I don't know if he thought he was going to dunk that at the last minute or what, but it got pinned against the rim. And he's fouled, so he'll go to the line for 2.
Let me say this. I had the opportunity at USA Basketball, October 2013, to watch Tyus Jones, who now is a freshman at Duke. And the only person that I've seen since I watched Tyus Jones who can get to the rim and change hands and explode through contact to finish the way that Tyus does, and you see the kind of freshman year he's putting together already, is Malik Newman. That's high company. I think Newman's a better athlete, naturally gifted. His ability to score the basketball, he's a problem. He's an absolute problem.
A good move on the inside. That's Raylan Richardson. He draws the eye of some scouts and recruits at the next level. We'll talk about him as the broadcast goes on. And Malik Newman feeling flustered in the front court. Not something you see him do very much. He lost the handle there. It's deflected out of bounds. Still Callaway basketball. On the wing, Callaway setting up an offensive set here. It's a one-on-one move. Goes baseline jumper too strong. Pushing the other way, Miller Grove. Gilbert thought about the 3. Instead, he's going to kick it out. They're going to work it around.
Oh, that's great.
Set up, good ball movement. 3 in the corner, no good.
If you're Sharman White, you love that shot, though. You love the unselfishness. Richardson with a good shot, sends it to the corner for one more, just doesn't knock it down.
6-5 is your score. 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Off the glass, an easy 2 on the inside. He makes it look easy anyway. Wesley Harris.
Well, Callaway's got so many weapons. We alluded to that before the course of before the game got started. Excuse me. Just their ability to string you out, and they can make plays at any position at any time. And more times than not only can they make a play, they've got the advantage there at their position if you were to match them up on paper.
8-5 in favor of Callaway. They have the basketball, wearing their orange jerseys with the blue trim. Newman with the basketball, a little dribbling show there. And now we got an interior pass deflected. Miller Grove forcing all kinds of turnovers. Combination of sloppy play and good defense. Altariq Gilbert into the front court, crossing over, splitting defenders, high floater, left it short. Newman's going to clear.
Well, it's something to watch for tonight that Altariq doesn't have to see a lot of back in the Atlanta area is the length of Callaway. You know, you talk about Harris and Moore, and even Hakeem Nicholson on the wing. I mean, they're going 6'5", 6'8", 6'10" on the interior. But I will follow it with this, as we've got the referee just talking to him.
That's Joshua Jackman and
Malik
Newman.
I like it, though. And they're going to have a good time tonight. I saw Altariq Gilbert. He made me a believer at the EYBL stop in Minnesota over Memorial Day weekend, playing with CP3. They faced off with the St. Louis Eagles at 8 o'clock in the morning, and as you see him make somebody fall, then take that tough shot there. He was all over the place, scoring, leading, distributing. This is the team that has Harry Giles, who's a top 5 player in the 2016 class. So that was my Gilbert moment in which I looked and said he can really lead a team at an extremely high level, and he's doing that here early tonight. Making
a move there. He's fouled by Wesley Harris, kind of a hip check from Harris there. And, yeah, it is a little chippy early. You got a lot of pride for both of these teams. A 5-time defending state champ, a 3-time defending state champ, and a 6-time defending state champ from different states, obviously. And for Miller Grove, how about Lamont West with his second three? He has 6. Newman pulls from the volleyball spike line almost, left it short. And how about this? That's Joshua Jackman, who has drawn the assignment of guarding Malik Newman, and he's a lockdown defender. He's clapping, looking at his bench. He's getting fired up. He loves this matchup.
Well, and his intensity and energy on the defensive end remind me a lot of Devarius Brown out of Morgan County, 2016 kid. Like Jackman, he's already committed to Florida Atlantic, played for his former high school coach. Oh, nice floater there. Just doesn't get enough on it for Gilbert. But once again, the length of Callaway forcing him to change things.
Jackman picks the pocket of Newman, goes the length, off the glass, no good.
I tell you what, though, Jackman's going to make himself some money tonight, Logan, in terms of his ability to defend an elite player in Malik Newman. He's not going to stop Newman, but he can help to try to contain him and maybe keep it to a 20-25 night and not a 40 spot.
Raylan Richardson with the block up top, but they're going to whistle somebody for a foul underneath. It looked like a blocking foul. I'll get who they got with the foul here in just a second. Richardson was clean up top, but underneath they get the foul on Deshaun Street, his first. Newman 1 of 2 at the line, and Callaway with an offensive rebound. Miller Grove wants to win this one. They can't let opportunities like this happen. Malik Newman wide open, left it short. His easiest look he'll have all night, and he can't convert. Miller Grove the other way. In transition, crossing over. Wild shot attempt in the lane. Shot blocked on the follow-up. Jump ball underneath, and like I said, this will get really chippy really early if the officials don't step in, and that's Jackman in the middle of it again. He loves this stuff.
Well, he's built for days like this. Hey, man, you put your doggone stomach in Malik Newman's stomach and don't let up till this last buzzer sounds, man. Overtime, double overtime, triple overtime, whatever. Let's make sure that we get this W. All right, Coach, I got you. You know, he's just going to nod his head and go play, man. You have to love his energy, his intensity, his enthusiasm. And they've been able right now, as you can tell by the score, to keep Callaway from getting in an offensive rhythm. This game, the pace of the game, everything about it right now is exactly what Miller Grove wanted coming in here tonight.
Bounce pass, now going baseline, and well, I tell you, the Chargers are struggling with turnovers right now. Callaway's not converting opportunities and has several turnovers.
Well, this is a game that's going to have national implications. You start to talk about the various rankings, top 25s across the country, all of those different things. Miller Grove and Callaway are going to be two teams that we talk about all year long inside of, you know, the Elite 25, the Top 25, the Super 25, all the various 25 pollings that are out there. These are two teams you can expect to see all year long inside mentioned in those breaths and sentences.
Off the kick out, there's a turnover, hard to the rim the other way. That would be, and then some of these numbers have changed on me. That's Demencio Vaughn there. He was originally listed as 15. He goes hard to the rim. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
Well, I really liked Vaughn this summer. Like I talked about, watched him play with New York Lightning, Dana Dingle, one of the backcourt mates that he actually had the opportunity to play with. Bowie is going to go to Hofstra, so he's played with some really good guys. The post player on that team, Jesse Govan, is going to Georgetown in 15. They had another guy, Amavir Singh, in the 16 class. That's a top 60 guy, an elite 60 guy on BrandonClayScouting.com. And Vaughn was right in the mix. Real rotation, real minutes. Really enjoyed his play. That's a guy, somebody's going to get a good one late.
And he converts on both free throws. Demencio Vaughn, his first 2 points of the game. And the Chargers lead 11-8 over the Miller Grove Wolverines. We're under a minute to play in the first quarter, and the score is 11-8. Go figure. With all of this offense on the floor, we're seeing some great defense as well. Here's Gilbert, little shake and bake. Nice move, knifing through the D. Give him 2. He says, you want your offense? I've got it right here. 30 seconds to play in the first.
Shake and bake Ricky Bobby right there from Tariq Gilbert. I love that.
On the interior, here's Harris. Bothered by the defense, throws a rifle pass on the inside. Loose ball, last touch by Miller Grove. Callaway basketball under their own hoop. A dangerous situation here. They've got leapers on the floor. Watch the lob on the inbound pass. There it is, and it went off the backboard. Newman was lining up his steps. And there's a blocked shot. And a follow. He gets it to go. Good touch there, Demencio Vaughn. He's got 4.
Well, when you start to talk about the X factors for, either team, tough shot there.
Gilbert almost canned it at the buzzer. He ends up on his back. Lots of players on their back. This has been a physical game, and I believe we've got an instant replay powered by Powerade. You'll see the craftiness of Gilbert in the lane as he floats over the D. If you're just joining us, it's Logan Stout, Brandon Clay, and Marcus Burnett bringing you the Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic right here in Corinth.
The stage for this matchup, though, the way that they played that last game just got everybody excited and kind of in tune to what was going on. And now at least early anyway, a 3-point game at the end of the first quarter. This game has been everything you would bargain for. Malik Newman, you're waiting for him to kind of get rolling and hit a couple of those tough shots to make the crowd go ooh and ah. But outside of that, I thought in the first quarter you got everything you expected. High-level defense from 2 extremely high-level teams. A couple of tough moves from young men like Tariq Gilbert, who play at a high level offensively. Vaughn got involved. The length of Callaway disrupted Gilbert early. He had to kind of figure it out with the floater. So you're getting all the plots and storylines that you would expect from, groups with 9 state titles in the last 6 years between the two of them.
If you're enjoying the broadcast, tell us about it. Use the hashtag SUVTV. To get on Twitter, show SUVTV some love. They are hosting this broadcast and doing a great job with it, a great staff to work with. Miller Grove, another turnover. Both teams really struggling to execute offensively because you have, it's early in the season.
Yep.
You can play good aggressive defense at any time, but your offense takes some time. You got to gel with your teammates, and you're seeing a result of that here.
Well, and you're not playing this level of team.
That's true.
Even if you are playing early in the year, whoop, there goes Newman. You knew it wouldn't take long. He's been a joy to watch. I talked about the EYBL stop for Tariq Gilbert in Minnesota, that morning game with the St. Louis Eagles. Saw Newman play later on in the afternoon to close out the first session and just really enjoyed. He was a distributor in that one. Didn't score as much as he's capable of. That guy's been the MVP of a couple different USA basketball teams already. So we talked about the international flavor, competing for your country. Newman's already got that in his pocket. He's just done a great job and really at this point can name his school, but he'll wait till the spring to do it.
Up top with the basketball, that's Kendall Williams for Miller Grove. They're in the gray jerseys with the purple trim. And they trail right now 15-10. Richardson goes baseline, jump stop between 2 defenders, and he's going to be called for the walk. Again, great defense and another turnover. Miller Grove just 1-0 on the year. That tells you how early we are. This is their first game.
Well, Sharman and those guys play in so many different holiday events. They've got a couple of trips this year out. I was talking with Nike National Manager of High School Basketball, Tony Dorado, out in Colorado about Miller Grove's schedule, Miller Grove being one of their sponsored teams. And, just talking with them about some of the things that they're doing, this year, whether it's the opportunity to play against the Mount Verde. They've just got so many different games on their schedule. They're going to give them national context. The same thing with Callaway.
Bodies flying everywhere down here to our left.
Oh, great pass.
Gilbert was on the floor, and it ends up for an easy opportunity for Wesley Harris. He's fouled, and we'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
I tell you what, I know it's early, but Vaughn has been really impactful there. Catches it, finds a way to get the basketball to Harris. Harris able to make a play. And if anything, I think it's going to give Miller Grove trouble. We talked about the size, but it's the amount of size. It's more, and it's Harris, and it's as big as Vaughn is on the wing. He's a power 3 guy. He's not a small, slender guy. He's a guy that is a powerful individual at that 3 spot, not to mention Nicholson's length as well.
Harris gets 1 of 2 there. Here comes Miller Grove the other way. Working around the outside, we're getting to see an offensive set, which you don't always get to see in games like this. It's so fast-paced. Burrowing his way in, that's Richardson. He draws the blocking foul. and he also will go to the line for 2.
Well, he's got to be big tonight. You know, we talked earlier a couple of games ago about needing secondary scores. That was Southwind. You know, Miller Grove is going to need somebody besides Tariq Gilbert to step up, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a basket. You know, it very well could be rebounds and putbacks and interior passing for scores. But Richardson, I think, has got to be that guy that can do that for them, that can create those opportunities.
Raylan Richardson gets 1 of 2 at the line, 16-11, 5-point advantage for the Chargers of Callaway High School. In the corner, Harris feeling the pressure, coughs it up, another turnover. And here comes Miller Grove the other way, pushing the tempo into the front court, drawing some contact, kicking it out. There's Tariq Gilbert for 3. Front iron, no good. Chargers, Newman, what a move, avoiding defenders, can't finish off the glass. Lob the other end, too strong.
Boy, this is high-level basketball, man. Goodness gracious.
I mean, if you're going to the rim in this game, you better bring your lunch pail. It's a business decision to go to the rim.
You gotta go like a grown man in this one. I talked earlier about Miller Grove's national schedule, and you're seeing right now exactly why you play it, first of all, but they'll be over in Hawaii. They're going to play in a tournament over there. They're also going to play in the Chick-fil-A Invitational after Christmas. So Hawaii right before Christmas, not a bad place to spend 5 or 6 days, and then Chick-fil-A afterwards. I
will put in my request to get to Hawaii with you guys. If SUV TV wants to take that trip to Hawaii, just give me a call, Marcus. I will be there.
Ironically, we had that discussion right before we went on the air, man. He said he's picking up the tab for everybody,
Let's go. Well, then here we go. Now it's on air, so you got to do it. Kendall Williams working against pressure. Here's a little stop and pop on the baseline. In and out, no good. Cleared off the glass. That is Kasim Nicholson. He gets it to Newman. Now Newman in the front court. He's got that look in his eye. He thought he might pull from near the volleyball line, but instead he's going to set up an offense. And a 3-2 zone, what Miller Grove is in.
That's a good shot there by Richardson. That's the kind of shot he's got to continue to take in this game. If you're Sharman White, you're okay with that. A 15-footer from Raylan Richardson, uncontested and open. Those are shots you know you're going to need. And at this point, you've done a good enough job defensively. You're still only down 5 points with 4.5 minutes left in the second quarter. And admittedly, I'm sure he would tell you, you know, we have not played anything close to our best basketball, and we're playing a top 25 team in the country.
Gives us a chance to bring you an instant replay powered by Powerade. And that's Malik Newman knifing his way into the lane, kissing it off the glass. You know, I think when you look at highlight reels and stuff like that on Malik Newman, a lot of people fall into the trap of saying, hey, he's a knockdown shooter, he's a perimeter player. Well, a lot of the highlights show that. They'll show him dunking and they'll show him hitting the 3, but this guy's a slasher. He can score at the rim, kiss it off the glass. I mean, he's a total package, a great defender as well. I mean, there's a reason he's highly recruited.
Well, no question. And one of the things that we mentioned in our prospect eval on peachstatebasketball.com about Newman's game is the fact that he has the unique ability to play either guard position. Most of the time when you say that, you mean the guy can play the 2 or the 3, not really the 1 or the 2. I think combo guard gets used a little too much nowadays for kids who don't have the skill to really be good at either one. Newman has the skill to be really great at either one, and that's a gift.
Wesley Harris, he's a force inside early on. He's got 7, and we've got 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. Richardson. And now Tariq Gilbert, who has been quiet. I have him for only 2 points. That's the unofficial score, but I think he only has 1 floater in the lane. Here he is trying to drop one off. It goes off the leg of one of his teammates. He was looking there for Deshaun Street. And that prompts a timeout from Miller Grove. Head coach Sharman White not liking what he's seeing. He wants a 30-second timeout. Logan Stout alongside Brandon Clay will take a quick break. You're watching this broadcast powered by SUV TV. Ricardo Day bringing it into the front court. There was some confusion. We thought he was marked off on the scorebook and that he may not play today, but that's him with the basketball. So he's definitely in. He's wearing jersey number 5. We got that figured out. And this defense from Miller Grove, you don't pick up your dribble against them. You're getting harassed if you do. And there is, on the interior, a deflection.
Well, they do such a good job of battling, I mean, to your point right there. And Sharman White was getting after them in the timeout. Not in a demonstrative way, but in a, hey, man, we didn't come all this way to not play well kind of way. That fella, whew, Malik Newman.
Malik Newman can fill it up. Not even a good offensive possession, you would say, but that's just Newman standing out around NBA range saying, I like this spot, I'm going to pull up and shoot. There's Tariq Gilbert, and that's what people want to see, a duel between those two. Gilbert drops in 2. Back the other way in transition, a turnover. Here comes Miller Grove, bounce pass, should have thrown the lob, but it works out anyway. An easy 2 for Lamont West. West was timing up his steps to go high for that, and instead he gets a bounce pass and an easy layup.
Well, I won't lie, I thought they were going to put that thing up to the sky too, but I tell you what, at this point in a game like this, as long as it ends well, doesn't really matter if it's pretty, doesn't matter if it's ugly or something in between, as long as that basketball goes through and they come down and get another stop. So remember now, time-wise, it was 18-11 on the 30-second timeout for Sharman White. Malik Newman with a tough contested 3 and 2 other turnovers since then. So defensively, you've had 3 great defensive possessions. One of them was just a heck of a finish by a top 5 guy in the country.
Gilbert with some swift dribbling there, gets in the lane, misses 2 shots. And Gilbert and the Miller Grove team trail by 6. Malik Newman says we'll make it 9. And that's the thing with Newman. You don't have to run offense. He can pull from anywhere.
I just turned my head. I watch a fan go, are you serious? He's absolutely serious. That's what Malik Newman does, and I think you made a great point a minute ago when you talked about, you can get caught up in the mixtapes, and, there's some people that do a great job with that stuff, but they can't give you the full picture like we can here in SUV TV with these full broadcasted games. You're watching Newman kind of play his part early in the game. It reminds me a lot of when the Lakers actually have talent around them, Kobe Bryant, when he's able to facilitate early, let other people get involved, and then he becomes the Mamba later on in the game. I think you're watching Newman do that. He kind of played a back roll here early. Oh, Malik Newman time. That's a great shot. Sits right on the rim. Miller Grove's fortunate that one didn't go down.
Off back iron, no good. The days of the Lakers having talent around Kobe are long gone, my friend. That is a struggle right now. Gilbert in the lane. He's going to get called for the walk first, though, and the crowd not happy with it. It's interesting. The crowd not so much cheering for one team or the other. They're really cheering for individual performances at this one. If you want to go up and slam one, that's what they want to see. If you want to drop 30 or 40, that's what they want to see. It really has a playground feel to it at times. People wanting to see a show, and man, it makes for a fun event. And there is Ricardo Day in the lane. He had that one deflected, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Callaway ball under their own basket. They love to throw the lob off this inbound here. It's not there, so it's going to be an inbound pass on the far corner. They're going to dump it down on the inside, and it's taken away. This is Lamont West in transition. He's chased down and blocked from behind, but we got a foul on Demencio Vaughn. Lamont West, talk about the build on this young man as he goes to the free throw line. I mean, you can see it. He's tall, lanky, long arms. He's built like a future next level player.
No question. The thing I like so much about West, honestly, is he's got the size, but he'll run the floor. A lot of guys with that size aren't committed to getting out in transition, play in, play out. As you can tell from what we've been saying, that's not something Sharman White is going to deal with. Either you're going to run the floor or you're just not going to play. You can sit over there and hang out by him. You can shine one of his rings or maybe 2 of them while you sit over there and hang out. So, the fact that West will get up and down, has the size to be effective around the rim, and honestly has been the most productive guy so far in this game for Miller Grove, largely in part because of that. As you see Malik Newman go find the body and put the basketball in the hole. That guy can just flat out score it, man.
2 more for Newman, attacking the rim hard, drawing the contact, getting fouled. Sharman White not happy with the defensive effort. I'll tell you something Newman did there. And earlier you had Joshua Jackman really get in the face of Newman, kind of bother him a little bit. I don't know if bothered him is the right word, but kind of had him out of rhythm. But Newman, after making that one, just stared Joshua Jackman down and just as if to say, all right, you can't bother me anymore. I'm taking over at this point.
It's funny because it's rare to see an offensive player give somebody that stare as if, hey, man, it's going to be a long night for you, Chief.
Right.
Usually it's the other way around.
That's right.
Oh, great play there by Richardson, finally getting the bucket. Like I said, I think, and obviously Lamont West has done an excellent job here to this point, but I really think that it's Richardson that has got to be the guy. Gilbert is doing what he's supposed to do tonight. Facilitate, knock down some open shots, but I think we all realize with the length and the depth that Callaway brings, it's going to be tough for him to go for 30. That's not really what this game design is for, as we have a little confusion here from the Miller Grove bench on a substitution. It's got to be Richardson on the offside making the plays that allow them to stay in this game long enough for their defensive pressure to wear Callaway's other pieces down, even if they don't wear Newman down.
34 seconds to play. Miller Grove trailing by 9. The free throw attempt on the opportunity for the three-point play is no good. We're down to 28 seconds to play in the first half. Callaway with basketball and the lead. That is Malik Newman with the ball right there on the far side. He's got 14. And they want the last shot. 10 seconds to play. There's a lob right in front of us. Handled. Here's Day. Scoop pass on the inside. That's Harris. He's going to lose the ball. Great D for Miller Grove. They will go to halftime with a little bit of momentum after that stop, but they look up at the scoreboard. They've only scored 18 points. That is not Miller Grove's traditional basketball there. They're a very proud program, and they usually can fill it up. The second half action is bound to pick up. A lot of talent on the floor. It'll be really exciting. If you're enjoying the broadcast, tell us about it. Hashtag SUVTV as we look at Malik Newman pulling one from deep and knocking that one through. And we will head to break as it is halftime. Logan Stout alongside Brandon Clay and Marcus Burnett.
Hey, quick shout out real quick.
Crossover intelligence for basketball can save you hours of time. We break down and stat your game film for you and act as your video coordinator by giving you searchable clips, advanced statistics, shot charts, and a lot of other great info that you can access from any PC or through our iPad application. Just upload your video through the Crossover website, and 24 hours later, your film will be completely indexed and tagged. Each play will become its own video clip, allowing you to search the footage for anything you'd like. Here we'll take a look at all three-pointers that were made in the fourth quarter. All of your offensive and defensive sets can also be tagged, so you can view the appropriate clips and determine which plays are achieving the best results. You can add any clip to a playlist or highlight reel and share everything with your players or assistant coaches. Crossover will also provide you with all of the numbers from each game, including complete player stats for both teams and advanced metrics like these. We even take the shooting numbers a step further with an interactive shot chart that lets you visualize the data. Filter by player, quarter, makes or misses, and click on any shot to watch the corresponding video. Crossover intelligence will keep you from spending hours in the film room and get you back to actually coaching. Together, we can turn smarter video into more wins for your team. That's the crossover effect. Crossover intelligence for basketball can save you hours of time. We break down and stat your game film for you and act as your video coordinator by giving you searchable clips, advanced statistics, shot charts, and a lot of other great info that you can access from any PC or through our iPad application. Just upload your video through the Crossover website, and 24 hours later, your film will be completely indexed and tagged. Each play will become its own video clip.
Brandon Clay back, getting ready for the second half of a big-time game here, the 2014 Lighthouse Classic. Let's take it to Twitter, hashtag SUVTV. My man James Robinson, a.k.a. at Built Up Real Nice. And let you know that boy been in the gym like you, Marcus. Stevie Stout, SUVTV, rocking the broadcast. That's a big shout for Logan Stout there. Raylan Richardson. Little bro Raylan Richardson playing on SUV TV. His older brother checking in, Miller Grove. Let's get it. Angel Robinson's watching her twin brother, John Robinson, coach alongside Sharman White with Miller Grove in the 2014 Classic. My man James Robinson checking up again. Also mentioning his brother, John Robinson, assistant Coach White from Miller Grove. Plenty of feedback. SUV TV with the hashtag will get you on the air. Small note, we actually lost our play-by-play announcer. I think he left us, Marcus. I think he's gone, man. Logan Stout over there talking with Texas A&M head coach Billy Kennedy in the building tonight. Multiple prospects on hand that have interest from the Aggies. We'll break that down a little bit more in the second half as he and his assistant Kyle Keller are in the building. Very familiar with Amir Abdul-Rahim, who's from the Atlanta area, was actually at Charleston, is committed to recruiting the area. The Aggies with a banner class. They've got 4 guys that are going to be in the BrandonClayScouting.com Elite 150 when it's all said and done. And they'll look to add another 1 or 2, including a young man like Tariq Gilbert before it's all said and over in 2016, maybe even a Damian Moore in 2017 from Callaway.
Man, so many things to appreciate about this webcast up to this point. Not only the stellar job that Logan Stout has been able to do this entire tournament, but also the perspective that you've been able to bring, Brandon. We appreciate you joining us here on the webcast, not to mention this level of talent here at the Lighthouse Classic.
Brandon Clay, the Globetrotter, sitting to my left. This man's been everywhere. Flew in this morning for this event. And here we go, Malik Newman wasting no time in the second half. That's a high degree difficulty shot there. Left it short, no good. And here comes Miller Grove the other way, strong to the rim. That's a good strong take, maybe too strong for Kendall Williams. He's called for the charge.
I think that's a situation where, for Williams, you got to feel it. Obviously, I know you want to take transition layups if you can. But you didn't have a clean look. Go ahead and pull that out. You worked hard to get a stop. You made Malik Newman take a really tough shot. That doesn't happen very often, so you just got to be smart with it.
Lamont West, big man in transition, gives it up. He's going to get it back, go baseline, put somebody on their rear, and then can't finish at the rim. Newman pushing the tempo. Good look ahead pass there. 2 passes, a shot, and it's stuffed at the rim by Richardson. Boy, this Richardson kid, he can do it on both ends.
He's good. Well, and he's impactful. I like that word. Sometimes guys pass airport tests, sometimes they don't. He's not a huge physically imposing guy, but he's got good length. We talked about Miller Grove's willingness to run the floor as an entire unit, but Richardson's willing to bang on the interior as well, whatever needs to be done, as you see him get his hand on that. And it's just been a sloppy minute of play. It looks like it's the very beginning of the game for both teams.
It'll be Callaway basketball under their own basket. Driving in the lane, that's Harris. He goes strong, has it deflected, blocked out of there again. And here comes Miller Grove pushing the tempo, weaving through traffic all the way to the rim and lay it in right in front of Billy Kennedy is Tariq Gilbert. Billy Kennedy, I have to give him a shout out. He is the head coach for Texas A&M. And his previous school he coached at would be Murray State University. There's the connection there. I got to talk to him a little bit at halftime. Newman pulling from deep, in and out, no good. I'm a proud racer. I got to give a shout out to him. Whenever I get a chance, I got to get the shout out in there.
I'm all right with that.
Hey, stop and pop for Gilbert, no good. Left it short. And here comes the other way. It's basically a one-on-one matchup here. Hard to the rim, no good. Put back up, no good. Sloppy underneath, loose ball taken away, and it'll be a jump ball. And you're right, impactful is the word. Richardson just puts his nose in there.
Well, and they're going to need him to do some things during the course of the second half offensively, to put himself in a position to win this game. But, Gilbert, getting back to Gilbert, man, he's been great. We've got him sitting right now at number 36 in the country, BrandonClayScouting.com, Elite 60. You see why Billy Kennedy's here. already has an offer from the Aggies. We actually wrote an article on Gilbert a little bit earlier in the week, talking about his game, talking about some of the things that he brings to the table. He's got offers from Texas Tech, Southern California, Miami, Memphis, Georgia Tech, Florida State, all amongst others, in addition to the offer from the Aggies.
Baseline jumper from Richardson. Richardson says, Coach Kennedy, give me a look as well. I'm doing it on both ends. He's now got 7 points. Gilbert has 6. Malik Newman leads all scorers with 13.
Well, and it's a quiet night in theory for Malik Newman here early. You know, when you're able to, and you see, once again, Sherman White and this Miller Grove team committed to defense on the defensive end as they force Vaughn into the turnover. When you can keep Malik Newman under about 17, because that would put him on pace for 35. When you keep him at 13 and a half, I talked about wanting to contain. You're not going to stop, but you want to contain him, keep him between 20 and 25. If you can do that, you're going to give yourself a chance to win this basketball game. Averaging
26 a game, and that average went up last night as he had, I believe he finished with 32.
You know, when those are nights, man, where most nights, he's able to come out and just kind of play. You know, he's not having to force anything. I hit a 3 here. All right, the rest of y'all can eat. Yep, fine. I'm still going to get 25.
Yeah, but Miller Grove's commitment to defense not making that happen, or not making that easy for him. Here he is in the corner. The one-on-one matchup there. He kicks it out. Shot was deflected, ended up being short, out of bounds. It'll be Miller Grove basketball. I tell you, Demencio Vaughn struggling with that pressure underneath.
Well, kind of like we talked about
him and Harris both.
I was going to say, you know, I think the thing that you got to do when you get into those situations, put the ball back in the hands of Newman, put it in the hands of Nicholson, put it in the hands of Day. You've got plenty of weapons. You don't have to force the issue. If you get tied up, and Richardson just did it there, if you get tied up or in a tight spot, just send it back to the guards up top. Let them keep playing, especially without a shot clock. It's not the collegiate level where there's a 30 spot sitting up on that glass and you got to play off that 30 spot, man. You have all the time in the world to be able to do what you want to do. Take your time. Make sure you're getting a quality shot on goal with every possession.
On the floor, Miller Grove forced to call a timeout. Richardson, kind of a heads-up play there, lost the ball but got back on it, called time. So during the 30-second break, you know, we want to thank everybody from watching all over the country. We're getting tremendous response on Twitter, #SUVTV. If you want a shout-out on air, tell us if you're enjoying the broadcast. We're here in Corinth, Mississippi at Corinth High School. It's the Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic. Great job by the host of this event.
I definitely want to shout out my man Corey Black, JUCOservice.com. He and Chris Watkins. Chris Watkins actually serves as our highlight video coordinator, and Corey Black does a great job of running male JUCO events. They actually just sent a tweet out a minute ago, let me know that they're watching us live, and they've been tuned in even for the Gerald Cook Classic this week that we covered in Atlanta. So they've been following SUVTV all over the country as well.
3 from the wing is swatted emphatically over there. That was Wesley Harris with the block. It's deflected out of bounds. Miller Grove thought it was their basketball again, but it is not. The ref rules that DeCardo Day and the Callaway Chargers have possession. Here's Newman. He is juggling that ball on the inbound. That's because D'ing him up is Kendall Williams. At one point, it was Joshua Jackman all over Malik Newman, and right now Kendall Williams has the assignment, and he's doing a great job chasing Newman around, making things difficult for him. And if you watch that matchup, Newman is face guarded wherever he goes. Whether he's ball side or weak side, he is being face guarded. There he goes. He finds Day, long NBA range 3, no good. Gilbert's gonna push. Here we go. 3 on 2. Boy. He drops it off. Richardson gets an easy 2.
How many guards in the country can give Malik Newman an in and out that leaves him standing where he is in his shoes? What a heck of a move in the open floor by Gilbert. I talked about his production. Might not be a 30 spot tonight, but he was going to facilitate and distribute. And this goes back to what I was saying. Great shot there on the wing by Vaughn. But this goes back to what I was saying coming out of Minnesota in May. He's really shown that he can lead a team with his ball handling, and those are some of the questions that we had coming out of the high school season last year.
Vaughn cans a 3. He now has 7. Demencio Vaughn. Another one of the many prospects in this game. I mean, this is a who's who of high school prospects going at it right here at Corinth High School, the home of the Warriors. The Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic, Tariq Gilbert feeling it, in, out, danced around the rim, came off, and we've got a scrum underneath. This is hustle time. Callaway comes away with it. Day has the basketball. He's tripped up at half court. Foul will be on Richardson. Gilbert hasn't exactly found the shooting stroke yet in this game. He's only got 6 points, but he's been a distributor. He's handling the pressure well, which is not easy to do when you're dealing with the length of Callaway. It's a 5-point game. Callaway on top. Here's Newman looking for a shot, kicks it to Day. On the interior now, Vaughn, who has that put away by Richardson. Here's Day. Day dumps it to Vaughn. He's going to try again. This time he's tied up. I thought we had a jump ball. You got a lot of people in the stands that disagreed with that call.
Well, I love the scramble there from Miller Grove. Anytime the ball leaves Newman's hands, they want to try to scramble and see if they can get a turnover, for some kind of steal. And as you can see, Sharman White able to run multiple bodies out there, especially at the guard position because they all play so hard.
A lob on the inside, gathered and put in by Wesley Harris. Gilbert the other way. Boy, he pushed the tempo big time on that one. Took him about 3 seconds to get down the floor and get a shot up. Tariq Gilbert with 8 now.
Well, and I had the chance to watch Gilbert multiple times last year. I talked about Minnesota, also in St. Louis at the Elite 100, and that was a who's who of the top 2016 and 17 prospects in the country. Quay Parker out of North Carolina, Wesleyan Christian gets a lot of love. There were a bunch of really good guards in his class there, and Gilbert shone right there in terms of what he can do, and you see it right here. Come on now.
That was a
Come on, Mr. Gilbert. I got to call him Mr. Gilbert, Marcus Burnett.
With the reverse spin, finger roll going baseline. We'll try to cue up the replay on that. It's an instant replay powered by Powerade. Tariq Gilbert going to work. Reverse spin around the defender. Finger roll on the baseline. Marcus Burnett is impersonating him over here to my right. He got excited with that move. That was a sweet move to give him 8 points. And right after that, what ensued right after that is Malik Newman had to shove off to get open, and when he did, the inbounder stepped over the end line, so that forced a turnover. It's a 3-point game. Miller Grove has the basketball in a 3-point deficit.
Well, this is exactly where you want it if you're Miller Grove. You know, if you're Callaway, obviously I think you'd like to have Newman more involved offensively in the second half. I think his first half production was fine. He had that little spurt where he got loose. Great. I don't think that that's a guy on this team that you want taking 2 shots in 5 minutes of basketball. You know, you want him literally getting a field goal opportunity about every 90 seconds on average. If it's a 32-minute game, I want Malik Newman taking 20 field goal attempts. You know, I know that if he takes 20 field goal attempts, he's going to get to the line. He's going to have an opportunity to score 30 and maybe 6 or 7 assists to go with it. And right now, that's not what they're getting.
Newman has yet to score in the second half. He had 13.
Oh, wow. The second cut. Look at Raylan Richardson. This young man is shining.
Good look on the inside. Richardson lays it in for 2. It's a 1-point game. Vaughn in the front court. Going baseline. Wow, what a block on the inside. That's Richardson. He is everywhere. Gets the 2 and gets the block on the other end. That was Kasim Nicholson trying to score. Now Newman out top. Guarded closely, pulls the trigger anyway. Tapped up and in on the cleanup by Damian Moore. He's got 4.
Well, Moore's got to be one of the best post players in the 17 class that I've seen. He reminds me a lot of a guy in the 16 class that plays with Southern Stampede, though he's from Florida, named Tony Bradley. Good size, good length on the interior. That's a tough shot for Gilbert. I don't know that if you're Sharman White, you want Gilbert dancing in an ISO like that to take the tough fade 3 there. Make the game easy for yourself. You don't have it off of the step and the spin. Go ahead and bring it back out. Get a high ball screen. Get something to create space for yourself.
Moore, just a sophomore. You heard that correctly, and he's huge on the inside. Richardson too strong on the baseline jumper. Moore tries to run it down. And that's Jackman over there, Joshua Jackman. And I tell you what Miller Grove has done is, you mentioned they're running different guards in. it's a revolving door who gets to guard Malik Newman right now. They're keeping fresh bodies on him, and now they're actually going to trap out of a 1-2-2-12 press. It didn't work. It was an easy look underneath, but a recovery block for Richardson. Back the other way, losing control. Here comes Newman in transition. Going to try to take it himself. Jackman cuts him off and is called for the foul. That is a smart foul by Josh Jackman because he cut him off and kept Newman from getting to where he could score.
Well, that's the second time this half now. You've got Williams did it, and now Boykin's done it, where they've got a 1-on-2. Those guys have got to pull that out and make sure they get a quality shot. You've got less than a minute left in the third quarter. You fought your way back. Oh, they're going to get it. It was a late substitution there.
I think they're going to let him come in.
The whistle blew before the ball was handed, but they're not going to allow him to come in.
Yeah, they're going to let him.
But to finish my thought there from a Callaway perspective, Miller Grove can lull you to sleep, make you feel like you're doing something, and then clean you off the glass the way they did on the back of that press because they play so hard. They can give you a second and a half like they did more to catch it and gather it, but they're still going to make a play and contest it. Unless you're going to punch on one of them and put them in the net, they're going to make you play.
48 seconds left to play in the third. It's a 3-point game. Miller Grove trailing by 3. Callaway with the basketball. 45 seconds and counting to play in the third quarter from Corinth High School. It's the Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic. Off a pick, a stop and pop for DeCardo Day, his first points of the game.
Well, this becomes a really big possession for Miller Grove. There's something in your psyche about being down one possession or two, going to the bench, see if they can get this thing back to one. This is a good read here for Gilbert. He's going to have all kinds of time. Yep.
Gilbert, jab step, steps to the left, pulls up, can't get it to go. It was on line, but he left it short.
I'll tell you what, good defense there. You know, when you talk about Nicholson, to force him to have to put the ball on the floor. But if you're Tariq Gilbert, you can't ask for a much cleaner shot than that in a half-court set on an isolation. Nice little jab step right. Very similar to what we saw earlier in the day from Southwind.
Newman with 5 seconds to play. He's going to kick it over to Day. He wants another three. Left it short. No good. 35-30 is your score. We've got a chance here to show you another instant replay powered by Powerade. It's a nice look down underneath, and Richardson finishing with the reverse. We want to thank a couple of our other sponsors here real quick. We want to say a special shout out to the folks at Hampton Inn for their support of this tournament. The Hampton. And crossover basketball, providing full statistical breakdown of game film to players and coaches. That's crossover basketball. This broadcast is, of course, powered by SUV TV. They do a great job with events like this. They do a bunch of things. They do live broadcasts like this. They'll archive the broadcast so you can see it at a later date. But then they'll also do marketing events, and they'll do some special promotions work as well. Marcus Burnett, who sits to my right, he is the founder of SUV TV, and we can't say enough about the work that they do. Full 8 minutes left to decide this one. As it stands right now, Callaway on top, 35-30, the Chargers. And Sharman White is telling the officials that it is Miller Grove basketball, and head coach for Callaway, David Sanders, says, no, it's not. So both of them kind of politicking right now, lobbying their case, saying we should have the ball, and so we'll have to figure this out. And one official says, no question, Callaway ball. Sharman White's going to have to live with that result.
You got to do everything you can in a battle like this. I need every possession I can get, doggone it.
Here's Demencio Vaughn, kicks it over to Newman. Newman's got a one-on-one. He hasn't seen this opportunity too much. It's usually a double. Newman soaring to the rim, can't convert. All Tariq Gilbert going the other way in transition. Lost the handle, gets it back, spins,
oh my gosh,
goes baseline and hangs in the air. tried to do the Jordan move where he fakes like he's going to pull it out, spins baseline. There was no Ewing there for him to dunk on, but instead he just tries to kiss it off the glass. He'll go to the line for 2.
It's funny, ironically, not the spin move, but the body contact and the finish piece of it was a lot like that move Malik Newman made on the same side in the first half, where he caught the body in the shoulder, was able to hang for a second, still put it in, and then get the and-one. You know, you're seeing Gilbert right now play against arguably the premier guard in the 2015 class, and more than holding his own here. He's led his team back to a 1-possession deficit.
Gilbert gets both at the free throw line. He's true there. He's a great free throw shooter. And Vaughn now getting trapped. They're going to work it around. Here's Day. He kicks it out, but he walked before he did. Miller Grove forces yet another turnover.
Day wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to do there. He almost surprised himself. He got down the hill and really had a look from either 15 feet or maybe even the ability to create and get all the way into the rim. Caught himself by surprise and shuffled his feet in the process.
A reminder, it's early in the high school basketball season, so both teams still a little turnover prone. Gilbert with a high arcing shot, had to shoot it really high to get it over the defender and left that one short.
You look at Sean White's face like, come on, man, not now. You know, we call those hero shots, man. You don't have to be a hero right now. It's the same shot Newman just took. Those shots more times than not are low percentage attempts.
And an easy 2 on the other end. That was Gilbert finding Kendall Williams. That's an easy assist for him and an easy 2 for Williams. 35-34. It's a low-scoring game, but a 1-point game. Here's Vaughn in the lane. Strong, no continuation. Basket does not count. If we were on the college or NBA level, that's an and 1, but on the high school level, the foul stays on the floor. Callaway basketball under their own hoop. Vaughn's going to swing it to Newman. Newman on the attack, soaring to the rim, and he was hacked in the act, but Richardson thinks that he got all ball, and in fact he did. The foul is on somebody else. They're going to get Lamont West.
That's a big-time dribble drive there by young Malik Newman. Attack straight to the basket. Almost caught him one there underneath, man.
I mean, it's liftoff once he gets his steps right in the lane there. And that right there is the first point for Malik Newman in the second half. And here we are, 6:30 left in the game.
Well, you want to know how you win the game? You contain Malik Newman. Like I said, you're not going to stop him. But Miller Grove has done exactly what we talked about. They've put themselves in position to keep him between 20 and 25 points, which allows you to beat Callaway. If he's scoring 35, you're in trouble.
Richardson drawed some oohs and ahs with the Euro step there. Can't convert the reverse layup. Vaughn dumps it in on the inside. Shot up no good. Kasim's going to get called for the walk. That's Kasim Nicholson pulling the rebound and falling to the ground. That is a walk.
I tell you what, Richardson in there to contest that shot, though. Missed the reverse, but gets us behind it. Right back on the defensive end. Contest that shot. Makes it tough there for Callaway.
Kendall Williams into the front court. Malik Newman D'ing him up, and now we got Gilbert. He wanted the pull up. Good help side defense there.
Great move
down the lane. No good. A battle for the rebound. We're going to get a foul. That is just Deshaun Street. He'll go to the line to get his first points of the game.
Well, you can see Gilbert now starting to assert himself offensively. He wants to take some shots. Still trying to find exactly where to take them without Sharman White getting on his case. Like that last three he took maybe a little prematurely. You know, and I think that's the tough part. Newman's going through it a little bit too right now. When you're as good as those guys are and you're playing with other guys that are very capable, when and where do I pick stuff? Unless the set is run directly for you. If it's a continuity set, where do I take my shots? This is a good time for a timeout here in Miller Grove. It's an even ball game here with 5:45 left to go.
A new ball game with 5:45, all square at 36. Surprisingly enough, this has been a defensive battle, and we've got more coming up next on the SUVTV.com. Logan Stout alongside Brandon Clay, trying to put a cherry on top of what has been an awesome event, the Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic here in Corinth, Mississippi. The Nightcap is all square, 36 all with 5:40 to play. It's Callaway and Miller Grove. State championships galore for these two teams. Callaway out of Mississippi, Miller Grove out of Georgia. Here's Malik Newman, baseline, nifty move, can't get the roll. He gets his own rebound off the deflection. He is fouled and will go to the line.
And you see him take both hands and just slap the floor in disgust with himself and with the way that this one has gone for him scoring the ball-wise. He had some great looks. He's even missed a couple of free throws, which is uncharacteristic for the five-star prospect here from Mississippi.
There are some coaches in the building watching Tariq and Malik Newman as well as some of the other prospects. And, you know, one thing they're getting to see is how they respond to a tough night, because neither one of them's on pace for 30, 40, or even 25 points at this point. So maybe not what everybody's wanting to see, but you do get to learn a lot about a player when you see them struggle and see how they handle that.
Well, and this is very much an elite level game, you know, in terms of the competition. I remember a Final Four game years ago, Wisconsin and Michigan State, I believe it was. It's like 42-40. You know, so there are some nights like this where they're locked down nights, and every single score is a battle. Every single possession you're fighting. The great move there, great footwork by Gilbert.
Wow, a wicked reverse there, contorting his body, trying to get to the other side of the rim. Left it short. Newman the other way. Callaway, 2-point lead and the basketball. Look at the defense there. Everybody on the floor. Crowd ought to enjoy this effort right now. And Demencio Vaughn and a couple of the Miller Grove players getting into it. And with that, we have a technical foul against Lamont West. His team down by 2. And head coach for Miller Grove is trying to plead his case, saying that goes both ways and saying that both players were being chippy. And we're listening to the chatter here, Sharman White and the officiating crew discussing why Lamont West just got the technical foul. That is a big deciding call right there to pull the technical card out there, because
Callaway's called a timeout, so they've got to be granted the timeout regardless of. I mean, at this point,
and that's a confusion right now, too.
Yeah, there's a call timeout there. They will get 2 free throws, technical shots that Malik Newman will be able to shoot, and they'll get the ball back coming out of the timeout. They were going to have the ball anyway. So in pure theory, they get 2 free throws here and retain possession of the ball. So not as bad as if Miller Grove had the basketball, lost possession to Callaway. Obviously, you never want to give up any points. But in terms of the bigger scheme of the game, you're going to lose 1 possession and not 2.
Newman knocks down both free throws. And now Sharman White is saying they called timeout, so they should be given a timeout, but they are not. So we're not going to take the timeout. On the inside, good strong move, swatted out of there. Here comes Tariq Gilbert. He's ahead of the pack, going to the rim, taking the contact, and scoring the basket. In transition, this kid's a scorer.
All's well if it ends well,
That's
man.
Right. The ball never lies, right?
Well, you know, like I said a minute ago, it was a 1-possession turn, not 2. So it's as if Callaway went down, scored a basket, fine, they're up 4, you just come back and make a play. And that's exactly what Miller Grove did. Don't finish the free throw, but now still just down 1 possession, 2, here with 4:40 to go.
Tariq eyed the defender as he's taking his 2 steps to lay it up, sizing him up before he finished that one. That was a fun finish right there. Malik Newman now sizing up. He's got that look. He's going to cross over. He goes by his man, floats to the rim, and he's going to draw the foul every time.
Well, one thing you learn really quickly about guys like Malik Newman, Tariq Gilbert's got it in 2. If they take more than 2 dribbles on the wing, they are trying to score.
Yeah, right.
They're not out there dribbling to dance and be pretty. They're sizing up the defender, and they're sizing up that second line help to figure out where guys are going to be, and they're going to get a basket.
They get that look out of the they look out of the tops of their eyes. They lean forward,
Oh,
lower the shoulders, and the whole gym knows you're about to go to the hole or pull up, one or the other.
And looking like a defensive end in that 4-point stance. Man, one of the Lions is sitting in that 4-point stance, ready to make a play.
Ready to go. That's what we like to see. It's 42-38, 4:17 to play in the fourth. Still a lot of basketball to be played. Here's Tariq Gilbert with the right hand. He's been bothered a little bit by the length of the Callaway guards. Here's Gilbert, reversing pivot.
Oh, my
Jump
goodness.
stop in the lane, lost control, hustling for it though. Loose ball on the floor. Miller Grove basketball, but I believe we had an elbow on the line, and it'll be Charger basketball. Callaway has possession with a 4-point lead. Under 4 to play now.
This game really has that postseason feel. They're trying to sub offense for defense. Here Miller Grove is. Everybody's living and dying with every call. If anything, that technical only heightened the sense of that. You see Newman with the measure.
Newman again in the lane, floats to the rim.
When he starts to take more than 2 dribbles, he is going to the rim. He's got his own cheering section over there on the front row, and they are locked in with him. This is awesome, man.
He's got the last 6 points for Callaway, and it's a 6-point advantage for the Chargers.
Well, and you knew it wasn't going to take all night. You know, you just want to put yourself in a spot where you're competing when Malik Newman gets to going. You're not going to keep him from scoring. You just have to be in a position that when he does get to going, you're not already down 12.
Gilbert no good with the free throw, but the other way, Demencio Vaughn lays it in for 2.
That might be a timeout here for Sharman White right across the half line. Sure is. This is the TV game. You don't want to let this get to double digits here inside of 3 minutes. You got to find a way to get a score here. I'm sure he's got a quick hitter coming.
That's a big bucket for Vaughn, and you're right, Sharman White, he's going to pull out the clipboard, draw something up. He needs his team to get a bucket because they trail by 8 with the basketball. Brandon Clay has the headset off. He's going to put his head in the huddle over here and listen to what White is drawing up. In the meantime, check out the replay presented by Powerade. That's Malik Newman to the hoop. The Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic. You can tweet us at #SUVTV. We've had lots of response. Watching the game with the girls, that's @_SimplyBad. You know, if you got the Twitter handle, it's going to be read. So I laugh at some of the late night talk show hosts and whatnot. They got to read the Twitter handle if they want to give credit to somebody. Some of these Twitter handles are hilarious. They're a joke in themselves. 46-38 is your score. Miller Grove with the basketball. Let's see what they drew up out of the timeout. Now, I want to say they drew up something against the man-to-man, but Callaway comes out in a matchup zone. It looked at first, and now I think they've switched to man-to-man.
Well, you know what's interesting? Gilbert was over there gassed, drinking, literally had the water bottle, was just turning that thing up, man, getting every drop he could get.
On the inside.
Oh, great finish there. What a performance here tonight for Lamont West. He's been absolutely awesome in terms of taking the contact, still finding a way to finish, and his play is one of the reasons they've been able to stay in this game.
Vaughn trying to answer, no good. West with the rebound, forces a pass, loose ball on the floor. Vaughn behind the back,
look at the strip.
Had it stripped. That's Gilbert. Gilbert with the ball handling. Into the front court now. Still has possession.
Oh, no.
Awkward shot from the free throw line. It's like he didn't know what to do, and I think he might have been shaken up. I don't know if that's cramp or what it was, but he's favoring something. And 46-40, under 2 to play now. Malik Newman sizing up his defender. And that's Jackman. This has been a great matchup all night. Joshua Jackman, the defender. They've been jawing at each other. Newman, crossover, gets some space. Minute and a half to play.
What a veteran move as he looks to the ref for the count to make sure he's not getting the 5 count. Great defense there to take away that first move.
Jackman staying with him. Newman in the lane, kicks it out.
Boy.
Callaway wants the win, and they're wanting to kill the clock right here. Newman in the lane, floating. He's fouled. Will go to the line for 2. Tell you one thing I've learned. When Newman's going towards the rim, he's not one that likes to dish when he gets there. He wants to finish when he gets there, and he more often than not draws the foul.
Well, especially in this scenario tonight with the game on the line. You know, like I said, I had the opportunity to watch him in Minnesota, and he was much more of a facilitator and a driver. He was facilitating the kick for people. Tonight he's facilitating the score, point blank period. He's facilitating to try to score the basketball and put that ball in the bucket.
The free throw gives him 25 on the night. Make that 24. He's got 24 on the night by my count.
And this is a slow night, right?
Right, yeah. He's averaging 26 a game, and they've kept him in check in this one. Gilbert for three. Off wide right. Just hasn't found the touch lately. West, a wild shot, no good. On the rebound, a putback, no good. Not Miller Grove's night as far as field goal percentage goes, but Jackman battling underneath, gets the bucket and the foul. A chance to cut it to 5 with the free throw.
Man, that young fella's tough, man. He is active, you know, in a lot of ways. We talked about West and Richardson, but Jackman embodies what Sharman White has done at Miller Grove, which is find guys who are going to grind it out every single possession, whatever they got to do to make sure they come home with the win.
Gets the bucket, but not the free throw. Newman clears the rebound, a push ahead. In transition, Callaway, they're going to pull it out and eat some clock. That was a wise decision there by Decardo Day. Newman, jab step, almost put Altariq on the ground. And now he'll go to the line for 2, and this is something else about Malik Newman. Almost automatic at the free throw line.
Makes free throws. He's just a cool customer. You watch him before game, after game. Not really much phases him, man. Just kind of a one-speed guy in that regard. And same here at the line, even late. See the free throw held clean. He just is he's a player. You know, point blank. There's a reason why he's been selected to those USA basketball teams, all the various camps and accolades that he's gotten, why we've got him sitting at number 3. And quite honestly, that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure we talked about. On any given day, he could be the best player in the country. I love Ben Simmons from Mount Verd as well, who we've got sitting at number 1.
3 on the way for Miller Grove, no good. Kind of a desperation shot there. It's an 8-point game with 30 seconds to play. A deflection knocks it out of bounds. It'll still be Callaway basketball.
If you have not seen this young man, Diamond Stone out of Wisconsin, 6'10" center in the 15 class, you're going to have an opportunity to watch him on ESPNU. 9 o'clock, February the 14th, play against one Malik Newman. That game will be in Wisconsin. You're going to see Newman face off with Diamond Stone. We've got Stone at 2, Malik Newman at 3. So you're going to get a chance on national TV to watch those two guys go at it, and make sure you circle that one on your calendar. Should be a great one.
And that would be at the end of the basketball season where your rust is completely gone. You're in hopefully in your best shape. And you usually see fewer turnovers in those late games. It's been kind of sloppy tonight. Quite a few turnovers, a really low-scoring first half. Second half, the offense has picked up a little bit. At the line for 2, Decardo Day trying to ice this one. He makes the first. He's got the second. It's a 10-point game. Callaway on top with 26 seconds to play. Into the front court, here's Jackman. Jackman's going to penetrate. He's going to get an easy 2. On the inbound, Jackman steals the inbound, and they get another 2. A quick 4 points in 8 seconds. It's a 6-point game.
Hey, what'd you say your high school coach said? Anything under 10, man.
Anything under 10, anything can happen. That's what his rule was. If you're trying to mount a late comeback, get it under 10, and then anything can happen. It's a 6-point game, still not likely. But Callaway has the tough task of inbounding the basketball. It's not easy against this Miller Grove team.
Well, not against a group that's made a living on playing against top-shelf teams and in top-shelf environments. Sharman White has done an absolutely excellent job, even this year's edition, to be playing a Callaway team this good, this early in the season, you know, and you were the one that came from out of state. This has been every bit as good as advertised. I mean, good matchups, big players making big plays, and then you've got some guys that you weren't expecting. It could be a Jackman, you know, it could be a guy like Vaughn, who I didn't even know was in the state of Mississippi until 3 days ago. You know, those guys have come in and been big.
Yeah, I don't drive from Murray, Kentucky to Corinth, Mississippi for just any event. And this is a good one here, the Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic, to benefit the Lighthouse Foundation, which is an incredible foundation. Check them out. If you go to lighthouseclassic.com, you can see information on this tournament, and there's links on there to the Lighthouse Foundation.
Well, they've been incredible hosts, as you see Vaughn stick that first one. They've just been flat awesome. From the moment I walked in the door this morning, very aware of what I was here for and really appreciative. And the organization, they just do a first-class job. This is an event that's only going to continue to grow in its stature and the type of teams that they're able to attract here on a year-to-year basis.
Vaughn gets them both. It's an 8-point game. Gilbert's going to pull from the volleyball spike line, left it short. Jackman will clean it up and put it in at the buzzer. That makes your final score 54-48. Callaway on top. The team from Mississippi defended their turf, so to speak. But one last thing I'll point out, Callaway advances to 6-1. Miller Grove 1-1. Miller Grove's only played 2 games on the year. Callaway, that was their 7th game, and so that might have had a factor in the outcome of this game. You know, the Miller Grove still getting used to playing with each other. Just their 2nd game of action. Malik Newman almost undoubtedly is going to be given this player of the game. He was the player of the game last night in the Nightcap. He's the player of the game in the Nightcap tonight. He's going to finish with around 26, 28 points. That's an unofficial number, obviously. We'll see what they give him on the scoreboard here. But Malik Newman, as advertised. Logan Stout alongside Brandon Clay. You guys, this has been an honor and a privilege to work with you both throughout this entire event. Brandon, very impressed with your vast knowledge of globe-trotting high school basketball. You cover it from coast to coast, and your contribution's greatly appreciated. This has been fun.
Thank you, man. Well, definitely want to thank you for the time and effort. Also thank Marcus Burnett and the good folks at SUVTV for putting this on. You know, it's fun, man. You know, maybe it's not, you know, Saturday Night Fever or anything like that, man, but I can dig it.
Yeah, this is great. So we'll put a bow on it. It's the Lighthouse Thanksgiving Classic. You've been watching this broadcast that has been powered by the folks at thesuvtv.com.